Hey team, it's George here. So a friend of mine just wrote to me talking about how normally they enjoy craft, they enjoy projects and stuff like that, but at the moment, they just can't get into it and they cannot get their head around it. And I want to talk to you about why that is so. So let's talk briefly about some parts of the brain, just to give this a little bit of context. So there's a fearful part of the brain called the limbic system, and I'm kind of pointing at it now. It's deep inside the brain. It's an older part of the brain. It's the fight or flight center. It's fight, flight, or freeze. A lot of people don't know about the freeze part, right? So you either fight, or you run away, flight, or you stop and you just stay in one position in the hope that whatever is going that's scary will go away. Guess what a lot of people are stuck in at the moment? Freeze, right? They're not sure what to do. And when this fearful part of the brain is taken over, there's another part of the brain, this front part here, called the prefrontal cortex, which is kind of like a parent. And it's the one that will come in and coddle you up and give you a hug and go, hey, it's all right. It's okay. You know, you're going to survive this. But unfortunately, the fear part of the brain is a little bit like a toddler, and it's demanding, it's happy, or it's sad, it's angry, or it's just miserable, right? But there's no middle ground. It's black or it's white with the limbic system. And I don't know if you've ever seen a toddler throw a tantrum in a shopping center, but when they do, there is not much that you can do to control them until they've calmed down enough, and then the parent can kick in and go, hey, I understand you're feeling a bit stressed at the moment. You're going to be okay. So how do we tame this limbic system here when we're really, really stressed? And I want to talk to you about the idea of the ways that we're entertaining ourselves, and one way that might be a little bit better than another. So when it comes to occupying the mind, there are things that we can do actively, and there are things that we can do passively. And I would put it to you that if you can incorporate a few active measures in, you will be better off. So what's an active way of entertaining yourself? You can read. And a lot of people are saying, I can't concentrate enough to read. Well, you could potentially listen to an audiobook, which is a little bit more active, but it's edging towards passive. So what's passive? Passive is watching TV. Passive is, essentially watching TV. You just sit there and it comes at you, and you don't have to do anything to compute it, and it goes straight in. Whereas if you're reading a book, it activates parts of your mind and your imagination kicks in, and that's really a fun way to get things going. And it uses both parts of the brain, and it's actually, from a brain perspective, is an active process, because they're just words. It's your interpretation that gives it excitement and meaning. Now, I understand that you may not be able to completely concentrate on some harder books, like maybe now is not the time to pull out Tolstoy. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I know my brain, and there's no freaking way I could deal with Tolstoy at the moment, or ever really. I'm not that kind of guy. But go with simple things like Harry Potter or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Roald Dahl is a very smart writer, and the stuff that he writes is very much written for kids as well as adults. So that's something to think about. If reading's not your bag, that's totally okay. But having something active to do, like, this is why we talk about exercise. Get out there and move the body. For the crafty people in the room, I love knitting. And so this is my new project. I'm actually making a t-shirt out of recycled denim. But I've chosen something that's really simple. It's just a straightforward stitch. There's not much to it. And I can literally just pick it up and do a few rows and then put it back down, and everything is okay. But, if you're going to do that really hard, have to count everything lace pattern, you may struggle at the moment. Go with simple at the moment. Coloring in is fantastic, and you don't have to have a coloring in book. If you've got an iPad, you can download some really amazing coloring in apps. That can be fun. You'll notice that a lot of people are making more videos. Again, an active process. TikTok, get in there. Somebody teach me how to do TikTok, please. I don't really understand it, but I think I have to point at things and there has to be music. Can somebody explain that to me, please? But I just wanted to do two things today in this video. Was one, to talk about things that you can do actively that are more soothing for the brain versus passive. And, you know, that TV and movies are okay, but if you're wanting to soothe the mind, you may be you may get a different effect. Well, you will get a different effect by doing something that's active with the hands, with the coloring in, or with the reading or something like that. But the other thing is that I just wanted to reaffirm that you don't have to be productive. There are so many people out there on the web either selling stuff or demanding that, well, now's a really good time to alphabetically clean up your spice rack. It's like, who cares? If you need paprika, you'll find it. It doesn't have to be, you know, in alphabetical order. If that's your thing, great, do it. But please don't fall into the trap of now's the time to do half a house renovation and, you know, start all of that stuff that you've wanted to do but have avoided because really you don't want to do it. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I talked enough. I hope that that was maybe a bit helpful, but just remember that we are all under stress at the moment. We really are. Please be kind. Please be gentle. And remember that when most people are under stress, they regress to the age of a sophisticated toddler, and boy, are we seeing it now. So just be gentle. You wouldn't punch out a toddler for being a dickhead. So just because somebody's regressed to the age of a toddler, we don't have to do that either. We just have to go, there, maybe you should have a nap and some coloring in. See you guys.